So hey everyone, my name is Riyad from Ride Home Realty.
Hello, everyone. It's Will Ellis from Right at Home Realty.
Hello, everybody. My name is Michelle Ryckman, and my business is Go4 Girl, a personal concierge service here in Durham.
Perfect. So, Michelle, because you just said that what your business is, why don't you just give us a bit, describe your business and what makes your business stand out? And I think it's such a cool concept. So I think everyone wants to hear about it.
Thank you. So, yes, I am a personal concierge service, and how I define that is my time is up for reservation to help your clients or anybody who doesn't have time for the daily demands and tasks of life. And that's really what it is. I come from 13 years of working in a bank, so I offer admin support, but basically when I left the full-time job and took on the fuller job of being a domestic engineer when I had my second child, it's basically everything I've learned and mastered that I now offer to others who are just overwhelmed and don't even know where to start. And I can look at it and be objective and know where to start and how to tackle it.
Wow. So in terms of what you do, are you seeing more, you work with real estate agents, but are you seeing more families? And maybe what's your clientele look like?
Oh, my clientele looks like regular families, overwhelmed entrepreneurs, and people who want to focus on their own business, but yet they have a life and a home that need to be maintained as well. So, my services they're basically just time-based. So it's, we discuss what is your need, and I'm getting a lot of purging, packing, organization. So people, like, they see their spaces. Sometimes people want to work with me, and it's really just helping them go through everything. And sometimes they don't even want to deal with it. They just want it done. So, we have conversations because a lot of times there's things in those spaces that they know they're there. They haven't seen them for a really long time. And it's just so that, myself or my assistants can keep our eyes out for them, so that we can put them aside and that they can have their items back. The amount of money I have found is crazy, absolutely crazy. Uncashed checks, gift cards, jewelry. Yeah, it's like I said, because I've got no attachment. And when I find it, you think it was my own items, how excited I get, because, to me, it's like a treasure hunt sometimes. It really is.
Wow. Very nice. Amazing.
Okay.
Thank you.
So where are you originally from, and tell us about your journey?
So originally I was born and raised in St. Thomas, Ontario. That's where, when my grandfather came to Canada after World War II, that's where they plunked him. So that's where I grew up. And then I moved away at 19 and I went to Sheridan College in Oakville. And that kind of started my journey in the GTA. I went to Sheridan for marketing, 3 years, graduated, and then moved into Toronto and started. My first job was with Foster Parents Plan of Canada. Very, very cool. And then I moved on to the Bank of Nova Scotia at Scotia Plaza. And I was there up until I had my second child. So from that, the business was truly created by my parents. So I was in between jobs. I had left one because they were looking for a cook, but they didn't want to cook. They wanted a chicken with its head cut off. And at this stage of life, I was like, not for me. So I had asked to be let go. So my mom called and said, we would like to hire you as our personal concierge. And I'm like, great, Mom, what does that mean? So for them, they leave November 1st and they come back May 1st. And at that time, this business was created. It'll be 8 years this October that I created this. Oh. And they are snowbirds. So they needed somebody to check on the apartment for insurance purposes, go through the mail, and anything that needed to be dealt with at the mail, I would either call them, scan the paperwork, just so I knew what we were to do with it. And at tax time, I would pull out all their T4s and send it to their accountant. When they were returning, I would go and kind of tidy, give it a little dust because nobody had been there for 6 months. And they would send me a little grocery list because they had no food, just some items to kind of get them started. And it really started with that. And then people would ask, oh, can you do this? Can you do that? And I would say yes. And then I realized, you know what, I'm going to focus on what I'm really good at. And so I've discovered that I'm really, really good at helping people go through their items, purging them, letting them go, downsizing, because I'm not attached to anything and I can look at it objectively. And I've also discovered, you know, it's a bit of hand holding, a bit of psychology, you know, to help people maneuver through those transitions in life. I'm never here to judge anybody because, like I say, I'm not walking in your shoes, you're not walking in mine. I can just see like you're overwhelmed, and I just try to take that stress away from them and give them what they're looking for. Because most times people know exactly what they want done, how they want their space to look, but they just don't know where to start, or they just don't want to do it. So that's where my time comes in.
Wow.
Do you have a team, or is it just you by yourself? Or
It has been me, myself, and I. We seem to get along really well with management. But since, thank you for laughing. I try to be, you know, but since October, I have taken on, there are two women that I've known for a very long time, and I truly trust them. And they work really well. They they work with me. They understand what we're doing. And my goal for them is to be comfortable enough that I can give them clients to take on as well. So, you know, it was me, it kind of grew, then it shrunk, and then COVID, everything just stopped, literally stopped for 6 months. So, you know, to still be here, I'm very grateful for that. So it's, you know, it was a challenge to stay relevant. And, you know, because we offer custom hands-on help, how do you force people to have you in their home? That's the hard part, right? You know, and even now, like with Omicron going on, you know, myself and my team, we are vaccinated, our choice, but we still wear masks, and it's just to protect it for everybody while we're going through this wave at the moment.
So when you said, so this interview is going to be long, I'm interested here. So when you said COVID stopped your business in its tracks for 6 months, what restarted it? What was it that restarted your business? And did you modify anything, knowing you were going to be with us for a while?
To be honest, it was, I think people started spending more time online, so I got discovered. And when people started being comfortable, when things started opening up, I would get busy again. And then every time they shut it down, it literally, everybody would, you know, I want to say the fear of God, but you know, the fear, and they would, and what am I can't force it, right? So I literally just had to accept it, go with the flow, exhale. And during that 6 months, I binged watched Mad Men because it was one series I wanted to watch. And I also,
right? Yeah, phenomenal.
Yeah, I really loved it. And what I did while I was watching TV was I knit. So I had been knitting lap blankets for seniors for the Durham community for about 3 years. So when COVID hit, I actually had the young woman who does my social media do a post, hey, do you have wool? And I was walking and picking up wool from people's houses. I go for a walk, pick it up off their porch, and I knit probably 25. Now I couldn't do lap blankets because the seniors' homes were closed. So I flipped it over to cancer blankets for people that are receiving cancer treatments at Lake Ridge. So my neighbor across the street well, she just retired, but she was a nurse and connected me with this woman. And I just knit everything and then dropped them off. So it was just try to utilize my time in a way that was still, you know, useful to others, even though I couldn't be in people's homes.
That's great.
Wow.
Thank you.
What motivates you every day?
To be of help. I really just love helping people. And sometimes I get the biggest high off of their faces when they've looked at something for years and I can get it done in 3 or 4 hours and they're just gobsmacked and, you know, so grateful. And I'm like, hey, you know, look, I'm just here to help. And that's really what it is. There's nothing ulterior in it. It's just, you have something that needs to be done. I can do it. Let me do it.
Wow. Love that
It's
answer.
very, you know, it's very, you know, because when people think of a personal concierge, they think, oh, you have to be really rich and all this other stuff. And I really just make it very simple. And it's not even, like I said, that's why I've just made it time-based. You have my time, and I literally, like, if you book me for 4 hours, I set the timer and off I go. And the biggest thing that I've forgotten half the time is doing a video or going back and asking people for testimonials, referrals. So it has been like a whole learning curve, because this business was created and then we formed everything else, if that makes sense. I kind of did it backwards.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
A lot of realtors are like that too. We're like that too. We kind of just go and then, oh, I need systems, or I need this, I need that, and we all get in that.
Yeah. So, I love it, because I'm never doing the same thing every day. And if I am, it's different people, it's different stuff, different situations. So it's never the same. And I love it. I mean, like, I've met some incredible people, and it just blows my mind. Like last year, I had a gentleman, he was coming to Canada. Him and his wife were having a baby by a surrogate. She couldn't get in because of the visas. He could, but needed help. He was coming from Malaysia, and I'm actually half Maltese, and his head office is in Malta. And I'm like, I could not make this up if I tried. Yeah, like, I've had some people from like overseas. Like, I've had somebody from Belgium that hired me to do some work in Oakville for them, to send some items. I had this gentleman that needed help getting baby stuff and doing all the running around. And then he also has this huge company. So I was communicating with his PA in Malaysia, his head office in Malta, and because I was printing off documents and running them to him into the city, because he didn't have that access. So it's really like, how can I be of help to you? And if it's not in my wheelhouse, I'm not going to do it. Like, I don't take stuff on for money. And if it's not my strength, I'm not going to do it. But more than likely, I know somebody now that would be able to help you with that task.
Wow.
Very nice. So seeing that you live in Durham, what are some of your favorite local businesses?
Ooh, favorite locals. Well, I love to support, there's a restaurant in Ajax, it's called Angelique's. Great breakfast.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, so much food.
That's my go-to. I go there all the time. Oh man. Yeah.
Have you been to, oh Lord, no, Scrambles? That's the other one. Have you tried Scrambles?
I have not.
No. I always go to Angelique. So just one of those things I go to.
Yeah. So do you know, okay, so where the giant tiger is, across the street, there's like a Remax that sits on the corner, and then beside it is a little building. And honestly, I think it's only got about 5 or 6 tables. Another great little place is Scrambles for breakfast.
I'm writing this down.
Yeah. Oh, I love a good breakfast place. Definitely. There's a cook, she has her things, I think it's in that urban market that opened up in Oshawa, and it's right. I love to cook, and that's Chef Genie. Her stuff is incredible. Her food's really, really good. And I've actually helped her when COVID, when they first started, there was somebody had created got all the businesses in Durham together, and they were creating, I don't know, like baskets or boxes or whatever, and people could order stuff. And so she was doing all these quiches, but needed help rolling out all the dough. So I spent 2 or 3 days just rolling out pie dough and putting them in. So all she had to do was fill it in. So, wow. My skill set is very wide, because I love to cook, I love to bake. So prepping stuff, doing anything baking, I love. I helped a seamstress who would do custom clothing for people. So my Nana used to be a seamstress. And so I know how to pin and cut out patterns. So I was hired to do that, just for a few hours, because then I could have it all cut out for her, and then she could sew it all to get caught up in everything. So like I said, you'd be surprised, the things that I can help you with.
Wow. That's amazing. What's one of the biggest surprises of owning your own business?
The amount of work that it takes. And the other thing too is learning the whole social media game, because it is very tough, and trying to wrap your brain around it, I'm I'm listening to older people. They're like, oh, you need to do this. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not relevant. That's not going to help, and they don't even get it. So, I think I'm still trying to figure out the whole game. And that's how I have to look at it, is that it's a bit of a social media game, like, because they keep changing the algorithms and all this other stuff. And I just try to be relevant and be seen.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
like
you're also meeting a lot of unique people. Has any kind of client surprised you with their request, or have you been surprised by your ability to help someone meet their daily goal by you going in there to support them?